Thank you, Colleen. Mary's Meals serves daily school meals to more than 3 million.
And we are able to help them here at Catholic Charities.
And when people show me love like this, y'all, I got it. It's just an honor where you can get these kind of blessings. And these blessings, I truly believe, come from God. The most important thing that I really love is they gave me hope when I was hopeless. They gave me hope.
Now back to Jackie.
Thank you, Colleen. Mary's Meals serves daily school meals to more than 3 million children in 16 different countries. And recently, they were in Haiti, where they're helping kids across more than 670 schools and education centers. Joining us to talk about the current state of Haiti is Director of Program Affiliates and Partners at Mary's Meals International, Alex Keay. Alex, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
It's so important to talk about this. Before we get into the hunger situation in Haiti, just explain to our viewers a little bit more about your role at Mary's Meals.
Yeah, so I've been with Mary's Meals for around 10 years as a member of staff, and prior to that I was a volunteer. I've been very fortunate to work with many of the teams across those 16 countries who deliver the programs on the ground, who serve the food to those communities. And I've been fortunate enough to visit a good number of those programs. So it's a real privileged position, and I've really learned a lot from it and a lot from those that we serve. But yeah, and Haiti is a prime example that you've mentioned there. It's a country which is facing a really difficult time at the moment with the violence, with the gang violence that's affecting everybody in the whole of the country. There's nobody that's not affected by it, and there's 5.7 million children are experiencing 5.7 million people are experiencing high levels of acute food insecurity. Hundreds of thousands are displaced by the violence, so it's a really critical time there at the moment.
Yeah, and right now you guys are serving nearly about 200,000 school children across Haiti. How important is it, for these kids to have a good meal at school, which also helps them stay in school to not get them, on the streets, I guess. And we saw some of those images of those children holding guns. Are they part of gangs in Haiti?
Yeah, so the gangs are recruiting a lot of children at the moment. They're expanding their reach. They've taken over something like 90% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and are extending their reach beyond the capital. And as those gangs are extending that reach, they're recruiting new members all the time, and children are particularly vulnerable and susceptible to being recruited, and food is part of that recruitment. Children are hungry, they need to be fed, and joining those gangs gives them an opportunity to get access to food. So going to school is really important. It helps keep them out of harm's way, at least for the time while they're in the class. Getting a meal from Mary's Meals helps them to concentrate, helps them to learn and benefit from the education that they're getting. So it's more critical than ever that we maintain our school feeding programs, and we continue to reach as many of those 200,000 children that receive Mary's Meals.
Yeah, absolutely. The images, some of them are just heartbreaking, kind of, families in displacement camps in Haiti. But I happen to also, when you see the smiles on the kids' faces, just getting a meal, how impactful that is. I mean, tell me about that, because I know that you go to a lot of these locations around the world, right? What is that like, being there and experiencing that?
Yeah, it's very special, and I really wish I could share that experience with those people that support our work, that make it possible, because seeing the programs in action, seeing the meals being served, hearing from the children that are receiving those meals is really special. And you hear all too often how receiving this meal is often the only meal or the most significant meal that those children are receiving. And when I think of my own upbringing, my own life, and how fortunate I am to be guaranteed 3 meals a day every day, it's hard to imagine what that must be like, not knowing where your next meal comes from. And you can really get a sense of the change in atmosphere when that food is served. All of a sudden, the energy levels increase, the volume increases. Children really find their strength and their voice, and that's something really, really moving. Seeing how children react to that meal, seeing what it means to them, seeing how all of a sudden they're able to do things that we expect children to do all the time, to play with each other, to laugh, to have fun, but also to learn in the classrooms.
Yeah, and it's so important that we show these images and we have these conversations because we kind of get stuck in our own lives and say, yeah, I get to provide 3 meals a day for my kids, as well, but it doesn't take much for us to get involved and be able to help these children all across the world. It's not a lot of money, right, to help feed one child for a whole school year.
Absolutely. It costs just $25.20 to feed a child for a full school year. That's across our global programs. And when you think about what you can get for $25.20 these days, it's really it's kind of remarkable, really. So yeah, $25.20 to feed a child for a whole school year, and that's how we're able to do this work, through the generosity of the public, who are moved to support and to give us those generous gifts to feed the next child.
Yeah, I'm just curious. You've been working with them, for a bunch of years. At this point right now, is it worse? Is it getting better for these kids? Tell us, just give us the reality of the situation right now and how much of a need there is.
Yeah, unfortunately, the need is really growing at the moment. There is more than 70 million children who are out of school at the moment, primary age school children at the moment. They should be going to school, and school feeding is a critical part of helping to entice them into the classroom and giving them the energy to benefit from being in those classrooms. And that number that is sadly increasing at the moment. There's been a lot of effort over the years and some progress made, but unfortunately we've gone backwards in recent years. And then when we hear about places like Haiti, for example, because of the violence, because of the influence of the gangs, a lot of schools are not able to open. A lot of children who were going to school are currently not going to school. And so it's really important that we continue to feed those that are going to school, that we can reach and are helping to give them the opportunity to escape the violence that is all around them otherwise, and to give them the opportunity to benefit from an education.
Yeah, we're praying for those kids. Just tell our viewers how they can get involved, direct them towards the website. And, it's really $25 for a whole year to feed just one kid. Wow, you could really make a difference. So just tell everybody where they can learn more and help.
Yeah, so if you could go to marysmealsusa.org, or as was on the screen there, marysmeals.org, you'll find a lot more information about our work and how you can get involved. When we're thinking particularly about Haiti at the moment, we're really hoping that and asking people to stand with the people of Haiti who are going through this very, very difficult time. And we're experiencing this very difficult situation where the need is really great and increasing at the moment. But because of the really complex situation there, it's more difficult than ever to continue to deliver those programs. Costs of the food and of the fuel is increasing. So we need that support more than ever to be able to continue to reach those nearly 200,000 children that we're serving every day.
Absolutely. marysmeals.org. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time to, shed some light on the situation. I'm hoping that our viewers are definitely going to want to help.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Alex. We're CFN Live after the break.